To create a new sequence, click the Create Sequence button in the main page. This will bring up the sequence editor. In the sequence editor, there are two panes. In the left pane is the sequence, and then in the right is the detail pane. Currently, we don't have any poses in the sequence, so the only item in there is our sequence name. So we can change the details of that here. So we can call that hips level 1. And then that will automatically rename the sequence name. We can then add to the sequence by clicking the Add to Sequence button here. And the same thing if we click that button here. Once we click the Add to Sequence button, it brings up this new window, which allows us to add either a pose or a series to the sequence. So here we can add a pose. We can just say seated deep breathing. And we have some options for this pose. First is the duration, the speed, and then whether or not we want to add a release cue, and whether we want to repeat it once or once on each side. So for seated breathing, let's do 2 minutes. And we won't add a release cue, and we will only repeat it once. So we won't be doing this pose both sides. And then we can add a second pose into our pranayama warm-up. Let's say alternate nostril breathing in shoelace. And so we can then specify 4 breaths, about 10 seconds per breath, and we'll repeat it on both sides and add that pose. And so we can continue on doing that throughout for the rest of the sequence. To edit an existing pose, simply click on it in the sequence pane, and then that will bring the details. And that will allow us to edit any of the details here. To go back to adding to the sequence, again, we can click the Add to Sequence button here, or click on the top of the sequence, which is the name of the sequence, and then click Add to Sequence.